Remember, with literature passages, try not to read too much beyond what they're giving you, right? Just kind of stick to it and then let the answer choices tell you what to care about. Even if you've read this book before, you're not supposed to bring in that outside information. So let's just take a look. We get the main purpose of the text. Francie, a young girl, visits the library often. Francie thought that all the books in the world were in that library, and she had a plan about reading all the books in the world. She was reading a book a day in alphabetical order and not skipping the dry ones. She remembered that the first author had been Abbott. She'd been reading a book a day for a long time now, and she was still in the bees. Already she had read about bees and buffaloes, Bermuda vacations, and Byzantine architecture. For all her enthusiasm, she had to admit that some of the bees had been hard going, but Francie was a reader. Okay, dumb summary, she likes books. I don't even need to write that down, right? That's pretty obvious. So now when we go to the choices, let's just see if something matches with that. A, to illustrate Francie's enjoyment of an unusual topic. Well, most of this choice is correct, right? So she definitely enjoys things, right? There's a positive connotation in this passage, so that matches with the positive connotation of that choice. But is it an unusual topic? Well, this is a tricky thing because we may think that it's unusual to read about Byzantine architecture and, buffaloes, but that's not really for us to decide. The passage would need to say that it's unusual, but even more important than that, it's not one unusual topic, it's multiple unusual topics. So there's just a bunch of things that are slightly off about this choice. This is something that you might be tempted with just by bringing in your own assumptions, but it's a perfect example of how that can get us in trouble. So this is definitely wrong, but I think a lot of people are going to be tempted by that. B, to explain why Francie prefers reading over other activities. Well, this is a clear comparison, right? We know we have to be careful of any comparison in the choices. They definitely say that she prefers reading, but not over anything else. It's just that she likes reading. She enjoys it. So it's not a comparison of reading with something else. It is just about reading. So that is no good. C, to portray Francie's determination to meet a goal. What's the goal, right? So this is a good example where we should be able to turn an answer choice into a question. And if we can't easily answer that question, it's not good for the answer choice, right? So what is the goal? She had a plan about reading all the books in the world. Maybe that's a dumb goal, but it's a goal, right? So mission accomplished, right? That seems to check off. Now, just to back up a second, if we had done the same thing to choice B, right? Explain why Francie prefers reading over other activities, we could also have turned that into a question. Why does Francie prefer reading over other activities? Now, if you go back, it doesn't really say. Maybe it says that she likes reading, but it doesn't say why she likes it over other things. So just a good example of how that kind of turning a choice into a question strategy can help us get rid of things, but also confirm when we have probably the correct answer. But let's look at D. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. To describe a book that Francie greatly admires. Well, no, this is kind of the same problem with A a little bit, where it's not about one book, it's just multiple books that she's reading, so it's not a book, and they don't really describe it. So there you go. Choice C is the answer. Maybe not a hard question, but still one that really epitomizes the kind of reading strategy that we need for all reading questions, especially when they get hard. So if you're doing that on the easy ones, you're going to be well prepared for when they get harder.